Alright then, this is just going to be a little tutorial on how to build this number display. So you got an input here, and it's going to display that number in this sort of position where this little dummy object is here. I got two versions of it. I've got this version, which is my old version, and I've got this version, which is the newer one that I just made earlier. I think this version's a bit better because this one is a pain to set up. Not in terms of building, but sort of connecting it to the numbers. It's really like time consuming and tedious, and it's not really something you want to do. Saying that though, you do probably only have to build it once, and then you can save it to your favourites, so it's not that big of a deal, but you know, you can choose which one you want. This one's a little simpler to build. Well, actually it's a lot simpler to build, and it's also a lot simpler to understand what's actually happening. This one's a bit more sort of complicated, but it's not that bad. Alright, and this value here, this dummy object, is just going to be the dump. It's basically going to take any number that isn't the active number and just sort of drop it here. That will be the case for the first one. The second one, it works a bit differently. It'll send the active number here, and then it'll replace the active number with a new number, and it'll send the old number to the dump. So this one, it'll send all the numbers straight away, and this one, it'll send them one at a time. So you can see there, obviously they're both coming from the same data source, so it's the same number. It's going to send the numbers as it gets rid of them. It's worth also remembering that it can only take one digit, so if you've got a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number or whatever, any amount of digits, you will need multiple of these. But not only that, but you will also have to know how to split up a number. Say you've got this 2-digit number here, you want to get it into two separate 1-digit numbers. It's quite simple, it's just using a bit of maths basically. 2 digits simple, so you can pause the video here and you can copy this, but anything bigger, and you're probably going to have to sort of put a bit of work into it. I'll show you the one that I built a while ago for 6 digits. It is quite big, but it's not like crazy. It's just that each one of those, that's your input. It's just sort of doing a bit of maths here, and it's giving you your output here, which is just sending it to these. But yeah, it's not too bad, especially if you've only got two or 3 digits. I'll sort of explain the 2-digit one for like a second, just in case you need it. Basically, to get the first number, the 5, you simply divide by 10, obviously. You then just want to floor the number, because you want a pure number, you want an integer in there. You don't want any decimals, so you want to floor it, which will give you the number basically always rounded down. No matter what the number is, it will round it down. And then to get the 6 out of this 56, you basically want to times the 5 by 10, subtract it from this number, so that's 56 minus 50, that will give you 6. You floor that again just in case, but it will always give you a sort of a round number. If you're going to minus it from this, you can also minus it from this one here, but then you'll have to floor it, I think. Hang on, let's just check if that works before I make myself look stupid. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Operand 2. No, okay, don't do that. Actually, wait, just forget I said anything. Just, yeah, subtract it from this value here. Wait, what have I done? I've messed it up. Let's undo that shit. Alright. Okay, now, this one, the second one, you can extract the function. You'll get something like this. It's quite nice and tidy, and you can store it in your favorites, use it whenever you want. You can't do it with this one because the bulk of it is pretty much built up of object pointers, which you cannot extract. You also can't extract power or the this thing, basically any triggers you can't extract. So this one can be extracted to something like that, and this one can't. I would advise making this second one, but I will show you how to build both of them. In fact, no, I'm just going to explain this one. Basically, you've got your object, like where the number is going to be placed. You want a dummy object, you want a vector position, a vector object information, you want that linked to the coordinates in an object position event, you want the object position event pointed at an object pointer. In fact, I'm going to build it because it'll be a bit easier. Alright, so first of all, I'm not going to build the first one. I've decided. 2 object pointers. We're going to build the second one. You'll probably never need the first one. It's just a pain, and it will keep the video short as well. You want 2 variable data sources. Those are going to be your index numbers for each of the object pointers. So basically this is going to be this is going to be your input, basically, this one here. That's going to be the number that's selected. This is going to be the previous number, the one that's being removed after it's been used. So you want 2 object position events. And you want 2 vector informations. You want them set to position. You want your 2 dummy objects. I'm just going to use the same 2 because it's easier. So if I just link that up to there, that's going to display my number. And this is going to be the dump. It's going to dump it here. I'm going to steal the power from this just so that those 2 don't activate. And you want to connect up the coordinates to the OPEs. You want to untick local, and you want to connect the first one to the second one, and you also want to aim the OP at the first object pointer. Then you want to do the same for the second one, except for obviously connecting the impulse. You don't have to untick modifier rotation, but it helps you get to the bottom of the list a bit quicker. So yeah, I'll do that one as well, just to keep it even, keep it nice and tidy. And then you want to go into the object pointers, untick transfer events to all targets, select that for the first index, and select the other variable data source for the second one. Okay, so I'm going to sort of explain how it works using this one. Basically, you got your input. This is disabled, which I'm going to tell you to do in a second when we go back to building. But basically this is disabled because the first value, it doesn't have a previous value, if you know what I mean. So the first value is going to send the 1 to here because it's a 1. It's going to set this box here is going to be 1. It's going to set that to 1, and then it's going to turn itself off. The reason it turns itself off is because this impulse is probably going to be constant. Therefore, as soon as this number changes, it would automatically set this box to the new number, but you don't want that to happen because you want this to trigger when this input and this number are different. So obviously if this sets this to the new number, when it changes, it's not going to be different ever, it's just going to be the same. So this turns itself off. So now you've got the new number, you've got the previous number here, you've got this here, this comparison value. You're comparing this value here, the input, to the previous number. When they are not the same, it's going to set this new index number to, well, it's going to set the index number for the basically the dump. So, and then of course it turns itself back on so that it can reset the whole process. It also turns this on so that it can move the original number to the dump position. Yeah, okay, hopefully I explained that pretty well, but it doesn't really matter as long as it works, right? So, I think I explained everything there. Anyway, you can ask us if you don't understand anything, if you really care enough to ask. So, state event. That's going to turn off your set value event. Set value event is going to grab the number from the input. You can chain that from the OPE and then straight to the state event. State event's turned off, basically. Not turned off, but it's set to off, and it's targeted at the set value event. You then want a generic filter. Generic filter is also, it's going to be set to not equals. Comparison value 1 is also going to be the input. Comparison value 2 is going to be a new variable data source, which is going to hold, basically it's going to hold the old number. Well, it's going to set the old number to the hold position. So you want set comparison value 2. You want this here is going to set this variable data source. You want to chain this state event to the generic filter. You want another set value event. That's going to be on true from the generic filter. That is going to set this value in this box, and it is going to be targeted at this variable data source. And then to finish it off, you want a state event which is going to reset the whole process, or allow the whole process to reset. So you want to aim it at set value box and this OPE. You also want it set to on, and you want to link that from this state event, this set value event. And that's it. We're going to give that a little test just to make sure everything's in order. Ooh, I'm actually going to bring out some new dummy objects. And of course, to link it up to a number set, you just want to highlight both of the object pointers and select the numbers in order, 0 first, then 1 to 9, like so. And that will not work apparently. What have I done wrong? I know what's working and why it's not working. Because they're both set to 0. Of course, you don't want to forget to link your input to something. That would be silly. So now it's going to work. This is going to be the dump, so the numbers that are sort of not being used are going to be stored here. This is going to be your current value, so obviously this is going to be sort of wherever you want the number displayed. You want to move that dummy object. And that's it. That is pretty much it. And that was a lot shorter than the video was that I made earlier, which showed you how to build both of them. But yeah, you don't need the first one. It's just a mess, and it's sort of, I don't know. This is the version that I knew I could build, but I just wasn't sure how at the time. Suddenly sort of came to us today, and I built it. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Have I missed anything? Let me just have a think. Oh yeah, if you want to extract it, I would recommend pulling out another variable data source and then linking this one to it. Basically what that does is, you'll see this variable data source has 3 green lines coming from it. 2 of those, which will be these 2, will be included in the sort of function when you expand it. So if I give you an example now, as soon as I extract the function, you are left with a power input, impulse, and 2 number inputs. Now obviously that's sort of, it's not really a problem, but it's not really ideal either. Obviously if you want to save that to your favorites, you don't really want to be linking up two inputs every time. So to avoid that, you want to just include this number inside the function and pull it out again to a single, like another one basically, so that you've got one input. This will be the input because this will now be included in the function. So if you now just sort of, if you hook that all up again, you will see that we now have only two inputs. You got one number input, so now you can technically get rid of this once you've done that. This will be your input. You can rename it to like input or whatever, and obviously the value, you can link the value to whatever you want, and it will work just fine. And this will be a power input. I would recommend renaming that as well. You don't really need to worry about renaming these, although I would rename these ones. One of them will obviously be the number, and one of them will be like the dump position or whatever. These ones aren't really important. You don't really need to know what they are, because you're never going to be you're never really going to be moving them around. It doesn't really matter. Obviously you can, like I've got mine labelled here, which is like the true value and the false value basically, and the same for the OPE. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that helped.